cracking with the gente on YouTube, man. Thank you guys for tapping back in, showing love, showing support, all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down under, subscribe if you haven't already. And as you guys can see through the title and the thumbnail, we got another one of those videos that you guys love to watch. So, get your snacks, get your drinks, whatever it is, and let's get it cracking. Oh, and you know what? Before I even get started, man, one, I do apologize if the air conditioning is loud. I did get this new microphone, so it kind of picks up a lot more noise. So if you guys can't bear with it, let me know so I can start turning off the AC while I do my videos. But if it's bearable, let me know too. Leave it in the comments down under. Just be like, hey man, it's tolerable. We can do it. Keep the content up. It's good. Now, another thing. I wasn't uploading for the last like 4 or 5 days because again my microphone, the old one, it broke, and you know what I mean, I had to wait for Amazon to deliver, and you guys already know that takes 1 or 2 days. But then when they delivered it, let me just spare you guys the details, and then, you know what I mean, we get into the video. The first mic came out faulty. I had to send it back, and they sent me another one. So now let's get into the video. So this video this case, I want to say, it's from 2014, the summer of 2014. It was a recommendation by a subscriber of mine. So when you see this, my boy, shout out to you. Gracias for, you know what I mean, the idea and whatnot. But so yeah, man. So this case, I just want to give a little backstory to it, just so people can, you know what I mean, understand. So Barrio Gramercy locals, man, they were always known to, you know what I mean, they were really active in San Jose. It's Gramercy and Madden, or Gramercy and Mueller, depending whatever way you're entering the apartment complex. But I'm not gonna say that hood died out because that's disrespectful to say, but I will say the activity did slow down. So the activity slowed down in that neighborhood, and they were kicking it again in 2014, whatever. I think it was 2013 or 2014. Well, that's what the homie from BGLs ended up telling me. So again, I don't know much about them like that because they were always locked up. They were always doing their thing. So, you know what I mean? Much love, much respect to the Gramercy homies. And so, you know what I mean? I didn't have too many run-ins, but when the hood was slowing down, I guess back in 2014, 2013, they were making a comeback. They were, you know what I mean? They were active again. They were kicking it, keeping the block hot as they always did, doing their thing. But I guess, and this is a homie that let me know this. So if the information is wrong for whatever reason, not to say that his information is faulty or anything like that, but to anybody from VGLs that watches this and thinks that, you know what I mean, you're like, that I'm trying to disrespect, I'm really not, let me know. But he did say that after this case is when Gramercy started slowing down again because they were making that comeback, they were making that push. But with this happening, you know what I mean, the hood slowed down again. So now that I gave you guys the backstory, let's get into the video. So let's start off with the background, the information. The Santa Clara County District Attorney charged Arjona and 3 co-defendants by information with first-degree murder. The information also alleged that Arjona personally discharged a firearm and committed the offense for the benefit of, at the direction of, and in association with the criminal street gang. Arjona was charged and tried jointly with co-defendants Juan Casas and Humberto Bravo. Co-defendant Roque Mora Villalobos testified as a prosecution witness pursuant to a plea agreement, by which he pleaded to a charge of accessory after the fact to murder and admitted a gang enhancement. Now for the trial. Escalera's murder. Arjona, Bravo, and Roque Mora Villalobos were members of the Barrio Gramercy Locos, VGL, a Sureño gang. Casas, though a Sureño, was not a member of VGL. VGL was based in the area around Gramercy Place in San Jose, surrounded by territory controlled by the Norteño Warlocks, a rival gang. VGL members commonly hung out at a shed to the rear of a specific apartment complex on Gramercy, between Madden to the south and Mueller to the north. Arjona lived on Madden, midway between Gramercy and Alexander. On July 28, 2014, Mora Villalobos, Casas, Arjona, Bravo, and CV were in the apartment complex parking lot with another friend who was not a Sureño. Arjona and Bravo left for Arjona's home on Madden to collect his father's SUV, heading south down Gramercy. Escalera and his girlfriend, SG, were walking on Madden en route to a friend's apartment to go swimming. Escalera, a member of the Norteño Northern Warrior Soldiers and Warlock gang, was armed with a gun, as was his typical practice, and SG knew it. As SG and Escalera approached Gramercy, they noticed two Sureño men, later identified as Arjona and Bravo. Seeing the cluster of men in the parking lot ahead on Gramercy, SG became alarmed. As SG and Escalera neared the apartment complex on Gramercy from the south, Arjona and Bravo approached in the SUV from the north end of Gramercy. Arjona parked in the apartment's driveway, though witness accounts differed as to whether the SUV blocked the sidewalk. SG recognized Arjona and Bravo as the two men she and Escalera had avoided on Madden. Arjona and Bravo got out of the SUV, both looking tense and angry. Bravo told the other Sureño that some buster, a derogatory term for the Norteños, was coming down the street. Arjona went back to the shed where he kept his gun and ammunition. Based on his experience with VGL, Mora Villalobos understood that Escalera was going to be assaulted. M.A., a bystander sitting in a truck bed with her mother, G.A., likewise sensed there would be a fight. Escalera called someone on his phone saying, "What up? I'm about to get jumped by some scraps." Scrap is a derogatory term for Sureños. He said, "I think these fools are going to get me." As soon as Escalera spoke of being jumped, one of the Sureños in the driveway said loudly, "Get this fool," or "Get that N-word." Escalera briefly turned his back to the group, and Bravo and Casa started running towards him. As SG retreated several steps, Escalera turned back toward Bravo and Casas, now with the gun in hand. Holding the gun at waist level, pointed downward at a 45-degree angle. Escalera said, "What do you think of this now, mother, MFers?" Mora Villalobos turned and ran. When the first shot rang out, Escalera started to run as well. Bystander GA assumed that it was Escalera who had fired into the ground. MA saw a bullet ricochet off the ground and thought she had seen Escalera fire it. But when MA looked to see if anyone was hurt, she saw Arjona shooting toward Escalera. GA saw Arjona emerge, quote-unquote, shooting from an area near the apartment complex. Like GA and MA, SG also believed it was Escalera who had fired. SG was clear that she had seen the slide on Escalera's gun retract, but she did not see whether he hit anyone. SG believed that she heard Escalera fire his gun a total of 3 times and that she heard approximately 5 other gunshots while fleeing. Mora Villalobos looked back once to see Escalera following, with his arm extended and his gun pointed towards Mora Villalobos. The next time Mora Villalobos looked back, he saw Escalera get hit by gunfire, with blood spraying from the side of his head. Mora Villalobos found Bravo in a vacant lot on the ground trying to camouflage himself. Less than a minute later, Arjona entered the lot through a hole in the fence. Arjona was holding his pistol, which now appeared to have an empty magazine because the slide was locked back. Bravo and Mora Villalobos eventually fled in the latter's truck, picking up Casas along the way, but Arjona left separately. SG turned back and seeing Escalera on the ground ran back to him. The men from the apartment parking lot were gone, and she saw the SUV drive off. Blood was quote-unquote everywhere on Escalera's body. He had multiple gunshot wounds, and it was eventually determined that his spinal cord and jugular vein were severed. The investigation. Police responded to the scene within several minutes of the dispatch report and found Escalera's gun beside him in a pool of his blood. An officer pushed SG away from Escalera and stood over the gun to keep anyone from touching it. The gun's safety was engaged. Its chamber was empty, but the 15-round magazine held 14 rounds. According to a firearms expert, several spent cartridge casings found at the scene had been fired by a single firearm, but not Escalera's. The casings matched unused ammunition found in the parking lot shed of the Gramercy apartment building. Mora Villalobos, Arjona, and Bravo were subsequently arrested. While in jail, Mora Villalobos was cellmates with Arjona and Bravo at different times, and each confided to him aspects of their participation in the shooting. Bravo said he feared that Arjona would testify that Bravo had told him to get the gun. Bravo acknowledged having told Arjona to get a gun, but denied telling him to shoot or kill anyone. Arjona told Mora Villalobos that he had gone back to the shed to find his gun, which CV had in his waistband. When Arjona told CV of the quote-unquote buster coming down the street and asked if CV planned to use the gun, CV looked scared and froze, so Arjona took the gun away from him. Arjona told Mora Villalobos that he then came out, heard the shooting, and just came out and started shooting. Gang evidence and Escalera's history. Justin De Oliveira, a criminal investigator employed by the Santa Clara County District Attorney, testified as an expert in Sureño and Norteño street gangs. According to De Oliveira, Sureños constitute a statewide gang with hoods or subsets in different counties and cities but are predominant in Southern California, whereas Norteños are the predominant Hispanic criminal street gang in Northern California. Sureños and Norteños are rivals, and acts of retaliation are common between the two gangs. Officer Matthew Santos, also deemed an expert in criminal street gangs, justified that VGL's primary activities include graffiti, auto theft, auto burglaries, shooting into occupied dwellings, attempted murder, and murder. Both experts opined that a Sureño would be expected to take violent action against a Norteño who went into Sureño territory. According to Mora Villalobos, about a week before Escalera's death, Mora Villalobos had been with Bravo in the shed at the Gramercy apartment complex when they heard the sound of spray cans outside. Outside, they saw several men about to attack the area. Mora Villalobos assumed the men were Norteño gang members. Bravo fired 2 or 3 shots towards the men, who took off in their cars. After the men left, Mora Villalobos and Bravo saw that the men had spray painted "Fuck VGL" on the side of the street. Several years before Escalera was killed, Mora Villalobos and several other men got into a fight with them, and Escalera pulled out a rifle. About 6 months after that incident, Mora Villalobos was with 2 other VGL members when someone in a van shot at them. Mora Villalobos at the time identified Escalera as the shooter. Damn, so that fool was telling on everybody. Though at trial, he said he might have based his identification on statements of others. Escalera and several of his friends also assaulted Mora Villalobos when the latter was in middle school. Several witnesses testified about a house party in 2012 where Escalera fired a gun. Police responded to a report of a fight on October 28, 2012, and the party host asked for help clearing people from the house and backyard. Partygoers started throwing bottles over the fence and police heard a gunshot. The host testified that he had seen Escalera fire a black handgun in the air. The verdict and sentencing. On August 27, 2018, the jury found Arjona guilty of first-degree murder. The jury also found true the allegations that Arjona personally discharged the firearm and committed the offense for the benefit of, at the direction of, and in association with the criminal street gang. The jury acquitted Bravo of first-degree murder but found him guilty of second-degree, and found true of firearm enhancement and a gang enhancement. The jury acquitted Casas of all charges. Subsequently, the trial sentenced Arjona to a total term of 50 years to life, composed of 25 years to life for murder and a consecutive term of 25 years to life for the firearm enhancement. And that is the end of that, folks. So, 2 things, or maybe 3, but 2 things I want to say, right? One, the message behind this one is, see, the thing about my channel is I'm not telling anybody to stop banging. I'm not telling anybody to not bang at all. My thing is, be wise about what you do. In this case, all these dudes were from his neighborhood. For the most part, they're from his neighborhood. And it just ended up that not everybody could keep their mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say be careful what you do and who you do it with if you're going to do anything, because not everybody's looking out for your best interest. And 2, man, this is my main thing, right? Looking at it from an outside looking in, let's say it's some random dude or some random lady that comes across this video or ends up reading this case, whatever it is, right? Imagine having that thought of like, and here's my thing, right? For me, I completely understand. I get it. There's invisible lines. You don't cross territories. I understand why it happened in the sense of from that inside looking out. But on the outside looking in, it looks crazy that the dude, Escalera, he lost his life for walking to with his girlfriend to his homie's pad to go swimming. You know what I mean? Like I said, I understand why it happened, and it is what it is. It happened, but it's cold, man. It's a cold game, right? For him, all he was trying to do was kick it and go for a swim or whatever. But not only for him, For the people that, you know what I mean, look at Arjona. The homie caught that 50 to life, and I mean, I'm sure he wasn't thinking, oh, you know what I mean, today I'm gonna put in some work. Today I'm gonna, you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong. Of course, when you leave your house, it's it's survival. I'm not gonna tell anybody to not survive, but it's cold, man. That on a day that he was just kicking back in his neighborhood, you know what I mean, with his homies, and something like that just ended up happening, and just like that, you know what I mean, he ended up catching that 50 to life bid. So in both aspects, you know what I mean, one person lost his life to the system, and another person lost his life to the grave. So you know what I mean, it's a cold game, man. It's a really cold game. And to the subscriber that asked for it, you know what I mean, there it is, my boy. I'm sorry I took, you know what I mean, a little while, but again, the microphone situation, but hey, I got it done. So with that being said, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down under, subscribe if you haven't already. You guys already know the goal is to make it out the hood, not stay in it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.